In this video, I am going to talk about the horoscope for 2022 for the 12th sign in the zodiac, which is Pisces. So if you are a Pisces moon sign or a Pisces ascendant sign, then definitely watch this video to see what is in store for you next year. We don't really focus much on the sun sign as it is very generic in nature. When we look at annual horoscopes, we focus on four major planets: Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, and Ketu. So, looking at the major transits, we can see that Rahu is currently in your third house and will be transiting to your second house in April next year in the sign of Aries. Ketu is currently in your ninth house but will transit to your eighth house in April next year in the sign of Libra. Saturn, which is placed in its own 11th house of Capricorn, will transit to the 12th house in Aquarius, which is its own sign and also its Mool Trikona sign, for about 3 months, and then it will start moving backwards and come back to the 11th house in July and will stay there for the rest of the year. And finally, Jupiter will transit its own first house after April in the sign of Pisces and will stay there for the rest of the year. So these are the four major transits. Now, looking at the major areas of life, starting with the career, it is going to be an excellent year for you guys in terms of your job and profession, especially when Jupiter moves to the trine and center house, which is the first house in its own sign, Pisces, and being the lord of the 10th house, which is related to your job and profession, is going to be a blessing for you. So make use of that opportunity, work hard, and you will get success in your job and career. In terms of love matters, be a bit careful, because Saturn for the most part of the year will be in the 11th house, which is a good thing, but it will aspect the 5th house of love and romance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the sign here is Cancer. Saturn is not friends with Moon, who owns the Cancer sign. So in terms of love matters, be very careful before jumping in a relationship. Choose your partner carefully, study and analyze everything before getting into a relationship, and you will be fine. In terms of marriage, it is going to be excellent for people who are already married. It's going to be a beautiful year because Jupiter after April will transit the first house and will aspect the 7th house of marriage. So that is a blessing for Pisces married couples. So after April, you can expect a very smooth and stable and harmonious married life. In terms of business, again, it's going to be an excellent time after April. Till April, you need to be a bit careful in your business dealings. But after April, when Jupiter aspects the 7th house of business, there's going to be a sudden gain from your business sources. You might strike a good deal or two, and you might make some major business decisions that might benefit you in the long run. In terms of wealth, it is going to be a good year for the most part, since Saturn will be placed in the 11th house. Planets usually in the 11th house always do good, and Saturn is placed in its own sign. So it will try to get you gain. Even though it is slow, it will be slow and steady throughout the year. But when Saturn moves to the 12th house for about 3 months, as I said before, you might expect some gain from foreign lands or from your maybe foreign investments. So that part of sector is looking good for you. In terms of education, I am going to say that you will need to study very, very hard in able to achieve your results, because Saturn will be here for most of the year and will aspect the 5th house of education. And as I said before, the sign here is Cancer, and Saturn is not comfortable looking at the Cancer sign because it's an enemy sign. So in order to achieve any kind of good grades, you will definitely need to work hard. In terms of children, you have to again be very careful because Saturn, as I said, will aspect the 5th house of children. So you need to be very careful in how you deal with your children. Try to be open and direct with them, so that will establish a good relationship where they can come to you and speak their mind. And so you have to try to prevent any kind of miscommunication because Saturn will be aspecting the 5th house of children most of next year. And finally, talking about the health, I will say that you will definitely need to be careful after April. Till April, no big issue, but after April, Ketu will move to the most malefic house, which is the 8th house. 8th house is related to major accidents, illnesses, and Saturn will also move to the 12th house for about 3 months. Even though it will be in its own sign, still, these are the most malefic houses. So, especially after April, be very careful even when driving a car. Do not speed. Take it easy. Be patient. Do yoga, meditation, exercise, and remain active. And that will immensely help you. So I wish that you have a great year ahead. And I hope you liked my video. This is again a generalized prediction to tell a more accurate reading. A person's actual birth chart needs to be analyzed in detail. But I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.